Hi guys. Do you still recall your first meeting?
It was just you the last time, I think, right?
No, but I think he means between us two.
Yeah.
Between me and him.
Yeah.
Our first ever time meeting?
Yeah?
Yeah, we first met.
In a car, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, we were going to our first ever rehearsal as a band. And I saw him busking on the street a few weeks before it, but I didn't say hi to him because I didn't know him. But yeah,
Right.
we were in a car.
Yeah.
And he kept asking me about being a vegetarian, I remember it was.
But how come you were in a car together to rehearsal?
Because before that, myself and the two other guys in the band had decided to form a band, but we hadn't met a drummer yet. So one of the other guys, Connor, our guitarist, he put an ad online that Rob responded to. And they kind of, I don't think you guys knew each other.
We knew each other a little bit. Like
Okay.
my first ever gig was with Connor and David, who were the guitarist and bassist, their first ever band. So our first ever show was together. So I was in like a really heavy punk band. They were in like a indie band. So I knew them a little bit, but
Was it awkward?
I don't remember it being too awkward,
I
no.
don't think it was too bad now. He's
Yeah.
pretty friendly, so it wasn't too bad. But
Yeah.
Okay. And once you had the first rehearsal, what did you think of each other then?
I actually can't remember too well.
I remember I was in over my head because I'd only ever played like pretty heavy punk music for 6-7 years before that.
Yeah.
This was quite a different, like when we started off it was kind of very like soft indie music. I remember going to rehearsals and I was like, God, I didn't know like how to write music in that way. So
Yeah.
But why did you decide then to actually
do
leave the punk?
I got sick of it. I played it for my entire teenage years and I don't know. I find after a while punk can get a bit repetitive. So, and I'd been in 8 or 9 bands, but to play in I remember playing in this band was like being in a band for the first time again. It was so different to playing in like punk bands.
And did he bring the punk drumming to your band? Or?
Yeah, I think in a sense, yeah, as in, like say a lot of our early recordings kind of featured, I suppose, not necessarily punk, but like unconventional drum beats in the sense of somebody who's obviously very technically proficient at drumming, which is cool because I love that kind of stuff anyway. And then I think, if anything, as we went on as a band, the drumming got more punk in the sense that it got more kind of straightforward and less like kind of less flourishes to it.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing when we started the band. I was like, I have to play indie drum beats. I was like, I hadn't a clue. It was.
And if anything, you probably went back to what you know, which is more.
Completely. Yeah, I play like really simple drum beats now. So.
Which is our sound, which is great.
Yeah,
so it came full circle.
And when did the transition come about from punk and then hard and then now just play straightforward?
I think when we started, I remember when we started, we just wanted to be like an indie band, whatever the hell that means, which is the most like naive thing you can say, but at the time we were like, we just want to be like an indie band, but we're pretty far away from that now. I think it's, I think especially me, I just wanted to be in like an indie band, but it wasn't really, I think that was, pretty soon we realised that like, that's kind of a really vague statement and we had to kind of figure out what we wanted to do. So.
And when did you find then your own natural identity as a band? When?
I think, I think a single we put out a while ago called AA, it kind of marked the first point that we were all playing music that we felt represented a sound that we wanted to play with each other. So I think when we wrote that song, everything that kind of followed on from that is, the music that we put out, and we pretty much stopped playing everything that we had written before that point.
But when you wrote AA, what happened that this song turned out the way it turned out to be?
I think when we played live, I think the reaction we got to it was really different than anything else. We'd probably written 10 or 12 songs before that, and they're all quite kind of dark and slow and stuff. But I think when we played AA for the first time, it was much more kind of like a party song, and people dance to it, and people never danced to our music before, and we loved that. So I think we kind of tried to keep that going on.
But then take a few steps back. When you wrote this song, why did you write this song? If you had prior to this song, you had written more darker songs. So
we had written one song before that was a bit more lighter, I suppose. Yeah, and I can't. Yeah, we actually had a few songs. A few of our very early songs were kind of similar to AA, in the sense that they were sort of upbeat, kind of major chord garage rock songs. But then we had a lot of songs that were a bit darker, a bit more kind of post-punky in a way. And I think AA was just the kind of point at which all those early garagey songs sort of culminated in one just song that really got a great reaction live. And even from ourselves, we just felt very comfortable playing it. And we kind of thought, you know, we're four upbeat young guys who like having a good time, drinking beers and listening to loud, fun music. So why don't we make that kind of music? And I think that's what we just started doing after that. And we write the odd sort of kind of post-funky tunes still to this day, but, you know, they're fewer and far between.
I think the live show for us is incredibly important now. I mean, we pride ourselves on being a live band, so I guess any song right now we want to be able to play it live to a crowd that are going to dance to it. You know, we would play quite fast upbeat songs. I think that's always the aim.
But you said that you still write those other songs. How come?
I guess for the sake of variety, you know, we don't want to be seen as a one-trick pony. And you know, it's great to have these sort of upbeat guitar songs, but we're wary of, I suppose, it becoming a bit repetitive for people. Yeah. And we want people to see that we're not one-dimensional. Yeah. So I think even when it comes to putting an album out, we're keen to have, you know, the songs like AA or the songs like Feel It, which evoke a more immediate reaction, but also counterbalance that with songs that are a bit more gradual, you know, and you kind of have to listen to them and think, okay, I like this, but for a different reason as to why I like the other songs I heard.
Is it easier to write these type of songs, or is it easier to write the other?
I don't think any song's easy. Like, sometimes we write songs in one night and it's done, and it's, you know, I mean, our current single, Yeah I Know, was written like in one night, pretty much, and it didn't really change much after that. Whereas, you know, other songs we played took months and months of us arguing and finally come up with something. So I think every song's totally different. There's not an easier way to write a certain type of song. It's kind of just down to luck. Sometimes it just clicks straight away, and other times it takes so long to try to actually like come up with something that's
But you are now. Are you recording your album now?
We're recording demos, so we have a lot of demos recorded for the album because we have a very good idea of how we want the album to go.
Which is?
Sorry?
Which is?
In terms of the sound of it?
Yeah.
Kind of like a
combination, I guess.
Yeah.
We want to have like we want it to be like kind of a short, you know, immediate album that people get into straight away. But we also want to show a bit of variety, that it's not just, you know, 10 songs of just upbeat party music. We also have a few darker songs there. But
sure.
I mean, we've been writing pretty much since we started this band, but we'll be hopefully recording the album by the end of the year. But we're still kind of in the middle of writing, so we probably have close to 40 songs now. I mean, and it's, you know, it's in a month we might write 4 or 5 songs, and if one of them gets on the album, we're pretty happy. So it's
I think the plan for us is to keep writing as much as we can until the actual recording of the album is to happen. And then just to record, you know, a certain amount of songs, and from those songs really weigh up which are the ones we want to put out into the world as an album.
I think we take the first album like very seriously, because there's so many bands that have done the first album, and, you know, it's completely changed. There's so
everything,
many bands, there's so many first albums that people still reference today as, you know, game-changing albums, and we want to have that. So
do you feel pressure, or is it just for you? We've written so many songs. It's just a matter of choosing which ones we want to be on the album, or are you still pushing yourselves for those extra songs, those really anthems? Or
I think the main pressure is from ourselves. I think like our label and, you know, our managers, all that sort of thing, they're tough on us, but I think we're in a huge way it's ourselves we're really very particular and what, you know.
But like do you feel pressure then?
Not really. I mean, we could put out an album tomorrow. We could actually probably put out 2 albums tomorrow. But I think, as Rob was saying, the main pressure does come from ourselves. Like, we know that we've to put out an album tomorrow, it wouldn't necessarily represent exactly how we want ourselves to represent ourselves.
Yeah. You only get one chance on the first
No,
album.
that's true. But sometimes I get the feeling that, like you said, well, there are so many good first albums out there. You really want to make that impression too.
Yeah.
But that also can hold you back in actually releasing an album, because you might think, well, if we wait another month, maybe we come up with even more and better songs.
Sure.
Completely. I think that's we've kind of had to.
Yeah.
Like I think even like a few days ago, we had a meeting with our label. We kind of tried to just like gun to the head if we had to pick 15 songs of the album. We kind of made a decision, because we could still write the first album for the next 4 years if we wanted to. I mean, when do you say it's perfect? Because there is no perfection, but I mean, it's.
What is a first album then?
I think it's a representation.
What is it? I mean, if you wait 4 years and you've toured 4 years, you've written 4 years, then maybe it isn't the first album anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, I understand. Yeah, I think, like for us, we've set a specific deadline as when we want to record it, and I think what the album is going to be is a representation of the sound that we currently enjoy playing with each other at that time. And I think if we were to extend it by another year, we'd kind of be writing different material, whether it be whether it be a different genre or whatever, and that wouldn't necessarily be a cohesive album. So I mean, we plan to have this thing done by the end of the year, and whether it means that we will have to exclude a song that we've been working on that we haven't quite finished for the album, I think we're okay to do that as long as what we put out really represents who we are as a band at that time. And
represents sound-wise and also lyric-wise?
Yeah, I think so. As in, I like the idea that an album is a snapshot of a person or a group of people at a specific time and place. So I'd like to have that thread running through the album, be it lyrically and also sonically.
And do you know what theme might be lyric-wise?
I think the general theme of the album is probably kind of youth and kind of. I guess I think because that was the first album, it's really about we've been in a band for three years now, but I think as a whole the first album really represents your life up to that point. I don't think we're going to be writing about anything too heavy, but we're just talking about, I guess, growing up and being in a band and what that represents. I guess I think that's important, that it's what you're talking about, what you've experienced. So I think the first album is completely about your personal experiences up to that point of your life, because I guess and after that we can go all political.
Yeah. The political second album. Social commentary.
Well, then my last question, and I know you won't answer the question, but I just ask it: what will the album title be? It would be strange if you have an album title already, but
we don't.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, it tends to be the kind of thing that we come up with last. Like even for our most recent EP and another release we have coming out soon enough, it's just
our label hounds us to try to get a title, and after weeks and weeks we finally come up with something. But
yeah, we like to invest a bit of thought in it. We don't want it to be a throwaway title. We like it to be something that means something to us, or will mean something to people who read it and get on board with it. So I think we'll have the album done by the end of the year. It could be next year until we have the album title.
It'll be about next summer by the time we pick the album title, I reckon.
Okay, well, looking forward to it then. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Right,
Cheers.
thank you.